I will be doing a demo later. I'll show you that online. We have the VFX Bro and the Final Cut King, and they'll be talking a little bit about how they did the effects that they did using Mocha.
We are Final Cut King and VFX Bro on YouTube, and we make creative videos, usually 1 to 3 minutes long, short films. We're just out of film school in Los Angeles, California, and we're going to show you some of our work. This is one of our more recent ones we did in the last month about a futuristic iWatch concept.
My name's Aaron. I'm the VFX Bro from VFXBro.com. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of some of the film making processes that we go through and motion tracking. So this is our video. It's an iWatch concept video on the iWatch, and we did all of this motion tracking in Mocha Pro. Actually, we did some 2D planar tracking. We also did some 3D motion tracking. We did some 3D camera solves. So you can take a look and see some of the different shots here.
Yeah, so what you're watching is a video we shot in our film school just for fun. This is like a project. All our videos we do in less than 24 hours straight, so we'll shoot them at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, work until, start our editing process at 8 in the evening, and go throughout the night until we post these at 8 a.m. in the morning. And so usually 2 minutes of work takes about 24 hours for both of us or something like that. So our YouTube channel, what we try to do is get a new video similar to this type of work that has VFX in it. Usually more of them have story elements in it. This is more of a concept. But we try to get one of these videos out every 2 weeks or so on the channel.
Okay, so these are just all shots that we comped in After Effects and Mocha Pro. And I'm going to run through kind of the breakdown process of how we go about doing the motion tracking. There's a lot of motion tracking in this video, so let's go ahead and look here. When we're doing motion tracking, the first thing we want to look at is when we're shooting it, we want to look at the focal length that we're shooting it on, the shutter speed, the ISO, and the rolling shutter. The focal length is important because whatever lens you're using will have a certain amount of lens distortion to it. Mocha Pro works great with lens distortion. You can see that if you're shooting at any focal length other than 35 millimeters, you're going to have some sort of distortion. The wider you go, the more distortion you're going to have. So Mocha works great when you're working with distorted footage. So we're going to actually take a shot here that we did from this video, and we were able to use the 3D motion tracker camera in Mocha Pro to do this. So the back wall here we can see is a one planar surface. So we have some data here on the right that we can use. We're just going to draw this line right around here. And we're going to continue that same planar surface on this side as well, because we know that it's one piece. So I'm going to add this on the side as well. And Mocha Pro is reading these as one planar surface. So you can see they're connected right there. One of the keys to having an accurate camera solve is having parallax. So parallax is the shift in Z depth between objects closer to you and farther from you. So you want to have that in order to get an accurate camera solve. So what we can do here is add another planar surface here on the front. You can see we definitely have a lot of parallax going on here between the front table and the back. So I'm going to add another planar surface here. And we're not tracking this part right here because if we move forward, we can see we have the reflections on the ground. That's going to give us what we call false positives, which is inaccurate camera data that we don't want to use to solve. So we have all that there, and now we can just go ahead and track forward here. And while that's going on, we can go back here into this and look at when we're shooting. We want to look for the sufficient false positives, which we already looked for. We want to make sure we don't have any false positives, i.e. the reflections. And we want to make sure we have planar surfaces. We have plenty of planar surfaces, which means that we just have flat surfaces that we can track. We have data that we can track from those. Now, the tracking data doesn't have to be completely planar. We did a video called The Hunt for Pikachu, where we actually manipulated a cat talking here. Play through this one. So when we did the shot, we did everything here in Mocha Pro, and we were able to manipulate his original meow and make it into something else. And even though his face isn't completely planar, we were able to take the data that we had from it and use a planar track the warping that Mocha Pro calculates works well for something like this, and then we're able to manipulate it into something like that. Let's move back here into Mocha Pro and take a look. We're just done towards the end here, and then we can go back to that first frame that we tracked and track backwards. Let's go back into here. So we want to make sure we have planar surfaces if we're using Mocha Pro. We have parallax if we're solving for a 3D camera solve, which we are in this particular shot because the camera moves around the girl. And we're looking at post. Whenever we make a video, we have different programs that we use for a certain camera solve. Most of the time I'm using Mocha Pro, and the great thing about Mocha Pro is it works well with planar surfaces, small and large parallax, and then it works great with motion blur as well. I'll use After Effects actually has its own camera tracker in it as well, and so we can actually set this to start tracking right now and see what kind of results it gives us compared to what Mocha Pro does. And so now we have both of these surfaces tracked all the way through. So if I go through here, we can see they're sticking on nicely. And now I can select both of these layers and go here into the camera solve. We have a large amount of parallax, so I'm going to change this to large parallax. And we know that we shot this on a wide lens, less than 35 millimeters, so I'm going to check that, and then I'm going to go ahead and click solve. And we can see up here we have our progress bar where it's giving us the percentage. And that's all done there. Okay. And we have a 98% camera solve. And we can go through all this. That's pretty good accuracy. So we're going to go ahead and export that. We're going to copy to clipboard. And now we can go back here into After Effects. And I'm going to create a new composition here with the same layer. Just drag that in. And I can go Edit, Paste Mocha Camera. And it's going to paste it right in there. And we can see this camera moving around. And we have these different null objects. If I take a look at our 2 view here, we can see from the top that we have that camera there, and you can see it moving around, similar to what we would think it would be doing in real life. So there's our 3D camera solve in Mocha Pro, and let's test it out with an object here. I'm going to create a new solid, and I'm just going to turn this to an overlay so that we can see what we've got going on. And I want to copy it to the position of this guy right here. So I'm going to hold down Shift after I make this into a 3D layer. I'm going to hold down Shift, drag it to that object, and now it's stuck to that position right there. And we want to move it around so that it matches up with our iWatch. So we rotated it that way, and now we can just move it around. If we wanted to get a perfectly accurate solve as to where this guy is, we could go back in here actually, and these have already been tracked, so we can unselect those. We can add a track here, and we just want the position of this. So we can track that and just hit translation for us. It's just going to give us the translation data. We can go back in here, and we can move this around. And we can draw a quick mask here. Just hit G for mask. And let's see how this sticks there. Unlink it from this guy. Here we go. And we see, although it's tracking, it's not attached to this because it hasn't been matched in our Z depth. So in order to do that, we need to go back into Mocha Pro and make sure that we have this guy tracked all the way through. And now let's go back here into this. So Mocha Pro is great for planar surfaces, small parallax, and motion blur. Let's take a look at our After Effects camera solve and see how it's done with it. You can see here we have all this data. The problem with After Effects is that we get a lot of false positives. So we can look down here, it's tracking onto our reflections, and we've got all this data on the side, and we've got data tracking onto her face as well. But let's see what happens when we try creating a camera with this object. So we're going to create a new solid and camera. We have the solid here. Let's bring up the scale. And bring that up there. And now we can turn this onto our overlay. This may get a different color.
Yeah, and I like it.
We can see it's tracked on there fairly nicely. So sometimes After Effects works for 3D camera solves, and sometimes Mocha Pro works as well. We're going to run through another example of a video that we did. So here we did this Zelda video where we had these cool animations that were
show you how we did most of the shots.
So all these were done in Mocha Pro. And we have these animations that were set up in After Effects and then linked. And this last shot we had here was kind of cool, where we actually used two different 3D motion. We used two different camera trackers. So we used PF Track. You could use a number of different 3D motion camera trackers, and then we parented it with Mocha to get this final shot. So we used Mocha for this part where the camera had already moved around. So if we look through this shot here, this part we have, and then for this shot we have a pretty big camera move, a parallax going around the printer. So we started off using PF Track because we have a lot of parallax, so we want to make sure we get that really accurate. We can do that with PF Track. And then once we get around them, we can switch to Mocha Pro and get a nice simple track there. They stick on and have that. So that's how we use the tracking in Mocha Pro.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys around.
I'm Aaron, the VFX Bro.
I'm Zach, the Final Cut King.
And this is the NAB 2013.
If you were able to come by and see us here at NAB, we were happy to see it. If you weren't able to, we hope you enjoy these videos.